I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. My name's Chris Mullins. I'm the county engineer. Going to pick the bread today, really. It's kind of nice to see really everybody. This is probably one of the bigger crowds we've had for a bridge opening. This is our last major bridge structure over a major waterway. It started 20 years ago. Commerce Point Road, everybody knows it as Red River Bridge over the Scioto Darby. The next one then was what was known as Gant's Bridge, which was up on Scioto Darby Road over Big Darby Creek. And then here we are on what's known as Fox or McLean Bridge here over Big Darby as well. So that's the last of the three major structures that the county's got responsible for replacing. So I'm going to try to thank a lot of people that are here today, and I'm probably going to miss a couple. I apologize up front, but first of all, I like seeing all of our neighbors, everybody that worked with us, property owners on all four corners. Really means a lot that they were willing to come out here today. I know they had a lot of interaction with Anthony, and Anthony did an excellent job running this project, and just appreciate seeing them. Township trustees, when we close this bridge, everybody can be mad at me if you will. I was the guy that originally closed this thing. Doing a bridge inspection, I was on the far corner there, a lot of section loss in the steel, 50% reduced, and had 3 loaded trucks go over it when I was underneath it. And the crack and the pop and the swaying, I said, that's enough. We'd had it reduced for years, and it was just a safety issue for us. Unfortunately at that time, we had maxed out in our eligibility for federal funds for bridges, because we were working on Gant's Bridge at the time, and programming that. So, we had a lot of decision making to do after that. We got with the trustees, and the trustees were hearing a lot from the residents and constituents that drove through the area. I have a lot of friends out here, and I was hearing from them as well. So, once we became eligible for those federal funds, we actually had a meeting with the trustees, have a public meeting up there at one of their meetings. And everything we heard was, let's go ahead and move forward with replacing the structure. The federal funding works 80% federal funds, 20% county funds. So we're what, Anthony, $6 million bridge?
Just under 6.
So that's a big chunk out of the county engineer's budget all at once. So we started saving at that time then to move forward with this bridge replacement. So appreciate the trustees being here. So all the county commissioners are here as well. I like to thank them. They're always very supportive of this office and what we do really on a daily basis in our office. So thank you three for being here today. We've got the design team. Courtney Nemeth is over here. Complete General is a contractor. Got GPI and Prime that helped us inspect the structure. Am I missing anybody else? Got the auditor, Brad, is here with us today as well.
Make sure he gets recognized.
I'll take some selfies.
Again, it's nice to see this size of a crowd come out, and I know it was kind of seems like a long process to the public when they're waiting for us to open a structure or get started on a structure like this. The standard timeline, as soon as you get notified that you're eligible for federal funds, is 6 years, and that's just going through that federal process. There's environmental concerns, especially over a national state scenic river. There's environmental or the right-of-way concerns as well, purchasing the right-of-way, and then the overall bridge design. If you recall, this was a little one-lane, over 100-year-old steel truss, and here we are standing on a 32-foot wide bridge. So part of the considerations is work with the trustees. We encourage them to widen McLean Mill from the bridge back towards London Road. I think at the time it was, 14 feet or so. Well, I think I saved you a little bit of headache, to be honest with you, because we are going to have a lot of traffic through here now, traffic that we hadn't seen for several years. So they were good about going after a High Public Works Commission grant money, and did that in 3 phases, I think? 4 phases, okay. And now that section of the road's wider. Obviously, the new bridge has a new alignment to it, and then we raised the profile of the road approaching up into Fox. So a lot of major improvements out here. For those of you that hadn't been here before, it definitely a big change from what we had down in here previously. So really with that, Ashley, you guys want to say anything or?
Just reiterate, pretty much what you said, the coordination that took place. It takes a lot of people to make these things happen. I'm a resident of Pickaway County. My family's been here since 1958. My dad first started working at Jackson Town schools there back in the 50s. And so it's kind of unique for me to be here and be involved in this so many years later. We appreciate everybody at work, like I said, the inspection staff, obviously the county, and with Anthony and you and everybody else, and the trustees. So we had a good project, and we enjoyed being involved in it.
I appreciate you guys as a contractor. You guys were on our first bridge I mentioned earlier.
Correct.
On over the side of the river. So, trustees, anything you guys would like to mention?
Thanks for everything. The job you've done is superior, and appreciate all the lack of chin music, especially from the people close. All the noise, all the trucks, they took it on the chin. It couldn't have worked out any better. Smooth, great people we've done this bridge for. So, yeah.
Commissioners, anything you guys like to say? Okay. I will kind of turn it over to Anthony. I do want to kind of give him all the accolades for this structure. And he was in charge of all three major structures for us over those waterways I mentioned earlier. Anthony, he takes a project like this, goes out and gets that federal funding. It's kind of his brainchild on what it looks like. These bridges will all, once we get the stain on them, the bridges, all three bridges will match each other. And I think that's a kind of a real neat concept for Pickaway County. Anthony dealt with all the environmental and the right of way and worked with landowners anytime we had an issue. Work with the contractors and the trustees and inspection groups, and just I'd hear him talk to himself every once in a while over in his office, but I think we're past that, and I would just like to thank you for the job you've done. So.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I wasn't prepared to talk a lot, but I was prepared to give some thanks, and Chris stole pretty much all my thunder there. So I do have a couple, although I can throw in some bridge geek facts, if you will, for everything that we did here. This bridge itself, there's 950 cubic yards of concrete. I thought that was pretty cool. There's 176,000 pounds of re-steel in this thing. The beams, there's 12 beams in this, and they total 828 tons just in the beams. A couple other things. The dirt to bring the approaches up, if you remember, it was almost a 45-degree angle. You couldn't see across the bridge. Sometimes you get caught halfway on the bridge and have to back off. We moved Complete General moved 40,000 cubic yards of dirt on the job. Environmental commitments, we actually have Chantel with us, who was on the consultant side working for us with the agencies to get the environmental document approved, and now she's on the ODOT side, so that's kind of unique. She's representing ODOT now, but part of those commitments, we planted 105 trees. You'll see over on this side on both sides of the bridge, native to Ohio. And then the other part of the commitment that was pretty cool was that we had to take, well, it wasn't cool at the moment, but we had to take down the bridge piece by piece. So dismantling it piece by piece. They melted out the old rivets, took them apart, tagged them, numbered them, took pictures, put up a drawing of the old bridge as it was to go together, set it in our yard, and then the park board, the Pickaway County Park District, I should say, actually just was awarded a grant to reuse that bridge on a multi-use path here in Pickaway County. So it's kind of cool. You don't get to see that very often, where it actually gets reused, not yet reused in your own county. So I thought that was really, really a neat wrap up to that. So that's really all I have, except as Ashley mentioned, it's kind of cool. Jared Miner and I worked, on some of the day-to-day stuff with the county. And it's pretty cool local wrap up that his family, he grew up just over here on the east side of the bridge or north, and then my dad grew up over here on this side of the bridge. So Jared is mad because the last part of his high school career he didn't get to drive over the bridge because we had to close it. But he's lucky enough now to be on the bridge, or be on the team working on the bridge. And I used to travel this to go to Grandma's house. So neat little local connection. It's pretty cool when you get to do that. So.
All right, everybody. If I can get one right here real quick. Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Yay!